Today, we're diving into something that feels like it's straight out of science fiction. We're talking about the art of surgical restoration, where surgeons aren't just fixing injuries, they're literally rebuilding people, restoring not just function, but a person's very identity.
So let's just start with a huge question. Really think about this. What does it actually take to rebuild a human face, or to sculpt something as delicate and complex as an ear from almost nothing?
Well, it turns out the answer is a combination of almost unbelievable skill, the patient's own living tissue, and a groundbreaking technique that completely ripped up the old rulebook. And it all hinges on one key idea.
And that idea, that revolutionary tool, is the perforator flap. And trust me, this isn't just a small step forward. This was a massive leap that changed everything for reconstructive surgery.
So what is it exactly? Okay, imagine a piece of tissue, skin, fat, whatever's needed, that's taken with its own personal lifeline, its own tiny artery and vein. The best analogy? It's like moving a patch of grass, but you're also digging up the entire sprinkler system underneath it, so when you plant it somewhere new, it has everything it needs to thrive.
And you can really see why it's such a game changer when you compare it to the old way. Before, surgeons had to take the muscle underneath the tissue. That meant a lot of damage, a lot of pain, where the tissue was taken from. But perforator flaps, they leave the muscle completely alone. This is huge. It means less harm to the patient, and you get a flap that's thin, flexible, and way easier for the surgeon to shape and sculpt.
So you might be wondering, how do they do this so precisely? Well, they are not going in blind, not by a long shot. They use these incredible CT scans to create a detailed 3D roadmap of the patient's blood vessels before they even make the first cut. This level of planning is absolutely crucial. It saves a ton of time and makes sure there are no surprises in the operating room.
The whole process is really a four-step dance of incredible precision. First, they do that mapping we just talked about. Second, the surgeon meticulously dissects and harvests the flap. Third, they move that precious piece of tissue to where it's needed. And fourth, and this is the magic moment, they reconnect that tiny artery and vein to a new blood source, all under a microscope, bringing the tissue roaring back to life. All right, so that's the theory. Let's see how it works in the real world. For our first case, we're going to look at what's basically the Swiss Army knife of flaps, the anterolateral thigh flap, or ALT for short. Surgeons don't throw around words like ideal very often, but the ALT flap, which comes from the thigh, is so incredibly reliable and versatile that it's earned that title. For really tough reconstructions, especially in the head and neck, this is the one they turn to.
So let's look at this amazing case from a pioneer in the field, Professor Isao Koshima. The patient had advanced head and neck cancer. Now, after the surgeons removed the tumor, what was left behind was just a massive void, a complex, three-dimensional hole that needed to be completely rebuilt from the ground up. And what they accomplished in a single 18-hour surgery is just staggering. They didn't just plug a hole. They used multiple parts of the ALT flap, sculpted it into a complex 3D shape, and did several tiny vascular hookups to keep it all alive. And get this, they even transferred a muscle to give the patient's face movement again. This wasn't just a patch job. This was a functional and aesthetic masterpiece. Okay, now let's switch gears to a completely different kind of challenge, one that needs every bit as much precision, but maybe with an even heavier dose of pure artistry, creating a brand new ear.
We're talking about a condition called microtia, where a child is born without a fully formed external ear. The challenge here isn't repairing something that's broken, it's creating a beautiful, complex, 3D structure where one never existed, using only the body's own raw materials.
And the Nagata technique for this is just incredible. The surgeon essentially becomes a sculptor. First, they harvest cartilage from the patient's own ribs. Then they sit down and painstakingly carve and stitch that cartilage into the intricate framework of an ear. They bank that framework under the skin, and then, in a second operation, they lift it up and drape it with a super thin tissue flap to give it that final lifelike projection. And that last part is absolutely key. They use a special flap from the patient's temple, called the TPF flap, to cover the new cartilage ear. Why? Because that flap brings its own blood supply with it. That blood flow is what keeps the cartilage framework alive and stops the body from just absorbing it over time. It's the secret to making sure that new ear lasts a lifetime. So, we've seen a face rebuilt and an ear sculpted. Two wildly different challenges, right? But there's a common thread, a kind of technical magic that makes both possible. It's called super microsurgery.
And to get a sense of what we're talking about, just look at this number. Less than 0.8 millimeters. That's the size of the blood vessels they're stitching together. We're talking about something thinner than the lead in a mechanical pencil. Just let that sink in.
This is the world of super microsurgery. And yep, it was pioneered by the same Dr. Koshima from our earlier case. This is the art of connecting vessels and nerves that are between zero point 0.3 and zero point 0.8 millimeters thick, a scale that people used to think was just flat out impossible.
But here's the coolest part. Supermicrosurgery isn't just about having a more powerful microscope. It's a totally different philosophy. In normal microsurgery, you're mostly relying on what you can see. But these vessels are too tiny and fragile for that. So instead, the surgeon develops this incredible sense of touch. They use the sensation traveling up the needle from their fingertips to literally feel the delicate inner lining of the vessel. It's less about seeing and more about feeling. It's a true tactile art.
So when you put all of this together, the amazing tech, the unbelievable skill, what's the ultimate goal? What's the big idea? Well, it all comes down to a really simple and beautiful philosophy. It's called like with like. The goal isn't just to fill a hole anymore. It's to replace what's missing with tissue that's as close as humanly possible in color and texture and in the way it feels and moves. It's about giving someone back their reflection in the mirror, making them feel whole again. And this is where the future is going. Total customization. Super microsurgery gives surgeons the freedom to harvest these incredibly precise flaps from almost anywhere. That means they can design a completely bespoke solution for every single patient, creating a reconstruction that fits their unique needs like a key fits a lock. It's just an incredible journey, watching surgery evolve from simple repair to this kind of personalized art. And it leaves us with one final big question to chew on. If we're getting this close to the art of perfect living restoration, what are the limits? And what could possibly come next?